So guys, this is a tower built in 900 or around that period, and around it there used to be a huge ditch to protect the tower, and the tower was actually used to protect the farmers that were living in the surroundings when there was wars or troubles. We've done some work on this already. We put new windows in and the down floors is done, but the upstairs, the second floor and the third floor are not finished yet. This part of the house is from 1616, and we have already kind of partially renovated it on the outside, but the inside still will take a lot of effort. So let me show you that now. It's a cold winter's day and I'm about ready to start planning the renovation of this old building. This building was built in 1616 and it needs a total renovation at the inside. I already did some work last year, but now I will finish it up this summer. So this will be my summer project, guys. So let me show you. So this is an old chimney which we called stucco style. We have renovated already a big part of this one. We poured concrete in on the floor already, and now we are ready to place the new tiles, but I will have to put heating systems up underneath the window frames. We need to paint, we need to sand. There's a lot of work that will have to happen here. In fact, we'll even build a new kitchen in here. But as you can see, still a lot of work has to be done here. So this is all work for this summer. So let's go on to the next room. So this will be the utility room. We'll have to put a sink up, we have to put a toilet up, and then on the other side we'll put some freezer up or some other storage place. And the good thing is we already have the cold water plumbing in place, but still there's a lot of work to be done still on plumbing, floors and so on. I think I will be pretty busy this summer. And while I'm doing the renovation work, I always keep the old elements of the house, because I think it would be silly not to keep those. Keeping the old elements of the old house is a very demanding task, and it takes a lot of renovation work, but I think it's worthwhile keeping this very old stuff, which is more than 200 years old in many cases. Well, this wall will keep as is, and it's already been partially renovated, but as you can see, there's wooden beams inside this wall and around the door frame, and that is because in the old days there was no brick in between. There was actually clay and hay or straw as a separation wall, but that of course has been removed over all the years, and now it's just back down to a pure brick, which is probably dating around 1616. You can also tell the door is pretty old, and I'm going to keep these old doors because they have real character. And look at the door. I mean, this is so old. I mean, it's amazing really that this stuff is still here. I mean, just look at that keyhole. I mean, how old that is. And that's all the kind of stuff we want to retain, because it is part of the heritage of this facility. Check this out. I mean, this is an old fireplace. That's where the farmer used to prepare his food for himself and for his animals. And in many cases you would find an opening in the back, so they had a swing so they could cook some food for the animals and then just swing it outside to the animals. But this chimney will stay. I mean, this is really, really nice. And it still works. So that's another one which I think will be one of the key elements when the house is renovated. And over here I have an old cellar, and that's kind of amazing, and it's really unbelievable, the cellar. Unfortunately I have no light inside, so I can't film, but next time I'll show you how the cellar looks like. But even that is so nice to have all this old wood. I already sanded it down a bit, and I started to prepare it against the insects. I also did the ceilings, which I'll show you in a minute, and they already been renovated, and I think they look pretty good. This is the ceiling that I repaired already last year, or let's say renovated. I took all the beams out, as you can see, and we cleaned them all up, and then I placed a new flooring on it. Everything is oak and it looks real pretty, I would say, but still on the second floor there's a lot of work to be done on it. So let's go upstairs and have a look on the second floor, what we have to do there, and we also have a look on the third floor where there's even more work to be done. And before we get upstairs, we'll have a look at the staircase because that one is in a kind of weird condition. So let's go. So this, my friends, is the old staircase. It's a very, very old staircase, and it was built probably around 1600 as well. And remarkably enough, it is very identical to one you will find in a nunnery not far away from here. We suspect that it was built by the same carpenters, and it's quite amazing because everything is with pans. There's no nails in it. The staircase is really no staircase anymore. We only got the side, but all the planks that were here before, they're all been removed. In fact, I removed them all because I need to renovate them, but we'll put them back, and we still have the 2 support beams, so that will work just fine. So now let's get up higher up and then see what we have out there. So this will be one of the master bedrooms eventually, but there's still a lot of work to be done. The roof has already been renovated, so that's the good thing, but we still have to put insulation up. We have to level the floor because, as you can see, it is very uneven, and that is because we kept the old beams underneath that I showed you before. So we need to level this. We have to put a lot of insulation up, and some of the work has already been done, as you can see. This wall here has been tripled in size. We have the outer wall, and we place some beton blocks up, so that is also kind of an isolation. So that's already a good start, but still there's a lot of work to be done here. So I reckon this will probably take me about 4 to 5 weeks to finish up this upstairs, and we still have to put the electricity in and the heating. But I think it's unbelievable beautiful. These old structures are kind of like, well, they don't make them anymore. Let me say it like this. This was craftsmanship. I mean, the way they did it, they just took pieces of trees and they just put it together. It's amazing how they did it with all manual tools. This farm has a lot of history to it, and it's actually heritage. So I cannot do whatever I like to do. So I need to respect all the old pieces in the house because it has a historical value, and that's what I intend to do. That's what I always have done, and that's why my renovation works always taken a long time, because I cannot just cover all this up. I need to respect all the old building materials. So now let's go to the next floor. So here we are. This room is in the top of the tower, and it's about 10 meters high. And it needs quite some restoration work, as you can tell. We've been cleaning up some things already a little bit, but you can see there's still a lot of junk around. The window frames still have to be replaced. But the good thing is that the walls are in a very good condition. Now the floor is kind of very interesting. It's a very, very old floor, and it's hard to see, but let me take a close-up on the floor so you can actually see it. And it's built out of these small clay tiles. So here we're having all these old tiles, and they're kind of neat. They are black and they are red. And this should be a red one, as you can see. And we need to remove them from the floor because they create a nice, very nice mosaic. And I will try to show you one piece of the floor where you can still see it. Now all this is a bit filled up with dust and dirt, but okay. And then, of course, I'm sitting in a hole here because the tiles are being placed on a brick-based arch, and on the edges they are quite deep, and they filled it up with this kind of debris, this kind of sand, and over the time that dried up, and the floor actually now is a bit concave and uneven. So we need to remove all the tiles and then pour concrete, and then we put all the little tiles back. So that will be quite a challenge to get this sorted out, because I have no idea how people did it in the old days, how they got the tiles so close to each other, especially since they are all different kind of sizes. Nothing is the same really. So let me show you a close-up of those floor tiles. So here you have it, and let me just clean it up a bit so you actually can see it. So can you see how this motif is coming back? It's like a circle of black tiles, and then you have the red ones, and there's another circle of black tiles there. Quite interesting as a motif in the floor, and very typical for that time period. So people, as you can see, there's a lot of work to be done for this boy this summer, and I hope I can get it finished, and I will post every so often videos on how I do things and how the whole thing is progressing. So thank you for viewing, and keep tuned to Restoring the Old Farm. Thank you for viewing.